Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice and screen. Those are attending in online. Please confirm to me, guys. All of you get my voice and screen. Thank you. Right. Good morning, guys. Right, sir. In the last session, yesterday, just have given some introduction related to Java, like Java history we started in the last class. Okay. Now say this, what we completed there, what topic here we understood in the last session, Java history, if you observe this. What is the requirement to provide Java programming language? That's a question. Okay. So for that, I'm giving information to you. In 1991, in which year? 1991. Why I'm taking 1991 the point here? Actual Java was provided in 1996, January 23rd. But preparation for Java was started before that 1996, exactly on which year here? 1991. In 1991, Sun Microsystems had a requirement to prepare a new programming language in order to prepare softwares for the simple electronic consumer devices like cable TV switch boxes, like remote controllers, and so on and so on and so on. So to prepare this new programming language, they started a project named Green Project. Under this Green Project, they gathered nearly 30 members team led by James Gosling and Patrick Nathan. James Gosling and Patrick Nathan, they are the two members, two team members. They are the two leads for this totally 30 members team. Okay. All right, we know already. James Gosling is the father of the Java. Still people are believing that. Yes, of course, it's the true. Is the father of the Java. Then who is mother of Java? James Gosling's wife, right? If he's the father, right, then definitely his wife is what there? Mother of the Java. That's it. Don't ask me who is the son of Java, who is the child of Java. All right, sir. We don't have any relationships, no. So father of India is okay. Apart from that, don't take anything else like father or mother and all these things. Are you getting my point now? So then in Java, people are giving this kind of terminology. The father of Java, son might be son-in-law, mother-in-law, like all these things, not at all required. Leave this one. Is a key person initially in a Java development, in a Java programming language creation. That's why I had some fame. But as I read some articles about the Java initially, directly from Sun Microsystems, what I understood that James Gosling journey with the Sun Microsystems is a limited time. It's totally limited time, maybe first a few years of time only. Up to Java 1.3 version only, he was there with Sun Microsystems. But later on, he was not with Sun Microsystems. They left Sun Microsystems. Understand it? Up to 1 or 2 few years of time only, he was there with Sun Microsystems. In 1.7 version, when Sun Microsystems is handed over to Oracle Corporation, where James Gosling was not there with Sun Microsystems. Understand it? What I am telling there. But along with the Sun Microsystems, one more person is there. Who's that person there? Like Patrick Nathan. That person is a key person when compared with might be James Gosling. That person is a key person. He was there with the Sun Microsystems for a long time. But James Gosling was not there with the Sun Microsystems for a long time. But anyway, he's a key person in the startup mode of the Java programming language. That's why in general people are saying that he's the father of the Java. But don't think like that. Sun Microsystems has not given this kind of relationships with Java. Sun Microsystems has not given this kind of relations. This unfortunate thing, Moreover, this kind of terms are going on in India only, especially in Hyderabad only, not in outside. Okay, leave it. Now, coming to the part here, for the above requirement, green project was started where 30 members team, Patrick Nathan, Jonathan, James Gosling, they are the members. So Sun Microsystems wants to have some idea about this new programming language, what features they want to include in the new programming language. Overall, 3 features they have taken. What are the 3 features now? Simple, tight coded, architectural, neutral. Observe carefully. Simple programming language. Simple programming language in the sense what there? Less execution time, less memory, and less power consumption. Less execution time yields more performance. Less memory consumption yields less cost for the end product. Less power consumption yields less maintenance cost for the end product. Tight coded. Less number of finish sections, more implementation. That is called as what there? Tight coded. More number of finish sections, lesser result. That's what they're loose coded. But tight coded programming languages are always suggestible for our applications. Lastly, architectural neutral. It should bound with all the hardware architectures. It should not bound with any one particular hardware architecture. So this is called as like what there? Architectural neutral programming language. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? So this is a clear-cut information here we can understand. Okay, fine. So let's move on to the point here. Next, further content here. Up to now, Sun Microsystems had only paper plan. Implementation was not started. They have put what they want to implement on a paper. That information only I have discussed up to now. Yes, sir. Got it or not? Fine. After that, in 1991, they started the preparation for new programming language. In 1991, Sun Microsystems has started for the preparation of Java programming language. Observe carefully, at the end of 1992, they took nearly 2 years of time. How many years of time they have taken there? 2 years of time they took nearly to complete this new programming language. At the end of 1992, Sun Microsystems has completed its new programming language preparation. They have completed it. Okay, after completion of this, Sun Microsystems wants to give a name to this new programming language. Then it has given that option to all their green project people. You can suggest a name, we will check the possibility, then we will assign the same name to our new programming language. Okay, when Sun Microsystems has given that option to the green project people, immediately James Gosling has suggested a name to the new programming language that is, what is that? No, what is that? That is new programming language, that is what there, OAK, WOK. James Gosling has suggested. Why? Because what is that internal view? When he sat at his cabin at Sun Microsystems, he always likes to see one type of tree through his cabin window. In his cabin, he always likes to see one type of tree through his cabin window. The name of the tree is what there? OAK, WOK. So by having that thought, he suggested that name to the Sun Microsystem about this new programming language. But Sun Microsystems has not accepted WOK as a name. Why? Because what is the reason for it? Why? Because Sun Microsystems found that the name WOK was already existed for a programming language before 1992. Get my point or not? Already one programming language is existed with the name WOK. So why we are going to give same name to our new programming language? What's the problem which is going on? if we give the same work as a name to our new programming language? For example, already one programming language was existed with the name work. If we give the same name to our new programming language, automatically everybody is thinking about it. This programming language, present new programming language, is an extension of the old programming language only. Sir, all of you are getting my point or not? Understand my point, Ken? So this programming language is a sequence of what the old programming language only. Unnecessarily, our new programming language may lose its identity. By having this kind of thinking, Sun Microsystems has not accepted the opinion from James Gosling. Understand clearly now? All right, sir. Good. Observe carefully. Observe carefully. While searching for the name to the new programming language, Green Project developers or Green Project engineers. Green Project engineers are used to take a brand labeled coffee. Green Project people have used to take a brand labeled coffee, that is Java. As clear cut information, understand it, no? While searching for a name to the new programming language, Green Project developers are used to take a brand labeled coffee, that is what their Java. Okay, with this, all Green Project engineers have suggested the name Java to the new programming language. Sun Microsystems has accepted that name. Finally, Sun Microsystems has given name to the new programming language is Java. Sun Microsystems has given name to the new programming language is what there? Java. That's it. So because of that reason only we have the name like what there? Java. Understand? In very first class, why the name of this programming language is what there? Java. That we are getting clear. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Clear. But some story, if you check this, what is going to be happen in the background? Java is one of the place name in Indonesia. Is one of the island in Indonesia. That place is famous for coffee trees, agriculture, something else. They'll produce coffee powder. For the sake of their marketing purpose, they used to release that coffee powder with the place name Java. So Java coffee powder. Unfortunately, Sun Microsystems cafeteria used that Java coffee powder for they serve that coffee, Java coffee for their employees. Unfortunately, Green Project people have taken the Java coffee while doing this new project, new programming language. So they thought of it. They want to give that name to the new programming language. That's why they are given that name for our programming language we are getting like what there? Java. Sir, all of you are getting clarity now. So Java is a good coffee powder. That's it, not more than that. Java is a good coffee. That's it. See, and some rumors are going on in outside. Here itself I'm telling there. Some people are trying to give abbreviation for Java, JAVA. J stands for something, A stands for something, V stands for something, A stands for something. No. Some people are giving this kind of unnecessary abbreviations. No abbreviations are available for Java. Clear information I'm telling there. No abbreviations are available for Java. Java, see, first of all, it is not having any individual letters now. It's like a place name. It's like a coffee powder name. Unfortunately, the Sun Microsystems cafeteria might be used the Java coffee. That's why we got the name for our programming language is what they Java. It's everything is an unfortunate. It's not like intentional. Understand it clearly what I'm telling there. Of course, might be by the time in 1991 or 1992, the Sun Microsystems has used the coffee powder name like brew. Now you may get the programming language name is what there? Brew only. Sir, getting my point or not? So by the time that coffee powder was there, by the time they have used it, By the time they have given that name, that's why we are talking about like what there Java. Is that all of you getting it or not? Good. See, even some kind of comments are going in social media. I used to identify that. What are the comments there? Not here, not in here. Now some memes might be going on there for some kind of sites now. That I used to watch that. Some people are giving that multi-threading in Java. Immediately there is a meme. Arey yaar, in Ragi Java, where is multi-threading? In Ragi Java, some millets are going to be identified. That preparation is totally different now. Understand it? Ragi malt, right? Anyway, whatever it may be. So that is funny side. Leave it now. So the point is what there? No abbreviations for Java. Java is what there is a land place name. Okay, coffee powder name. So Sun Microsystems cafeteria has used that coffee powder to serve coffee for their employees. Green project people have taken that, have seen the taste of it, they thought of it, they have given that name to the Sun Microsystems. Immediately Sun Microsystems has accepted it. That's it. Clear? Leave this one. Next one is after that. This is important. Observe carefully. After giving name for this programming language Java, Sun Microsystems has created or has prepared the very first product on the basis of the Java, that is star 7. Come for this point here. Sun Microsystems has prepared the very first product on the basis of the Java, that is what there star 7. Star 7 is the very first product. Got it or not? Observe carefully. To find customer, or else maybe I'm giving the clarity, it was a failure product. It was a failure product. No customer is identified for star 7 until the mid of 1994. Nearly they waited 1.5 years of time to find a customer, but no customer is identified for that. It's totally a failure product. The very first product on Java is what their failure product. Understand it, that Java is almost like what their Sachin Tendulkar. To get first century, he has waited nearly 52 matches. Understand it here. Now he's the god of the Indian cricket. Similarly, Java, at the time of preparing Java programming language, even Sun Microsystems is also be not expected. This much of feature is available for Java. This much of Bloom is available outside regarding the Java. So even the Sun Microsystem people also be not expected that this kind of feature. But now it is ruling the market. Is a leading programming language. So anyway, the situation is what there. It was the very first product on the base of the Java, that is what there star 7. It was a failure product. No customer is identified for star 7 until the mid of 1994. Clear? Now understand it clearly. Next point is what? In the mid of 1994, slowly internet era was started. Of course, in abroad, it was started in 1994. When it comes to India, in a 2001 year only, that internet era was started. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? At the year 2001, how the situation is going on there. There are number of internet caves in outside. In every center, 10 to 50 number of internet caves now. They're public, especially college students, engineering college students. They are maintaining some queue in front of that internet center. Just 1 hour basis, maybe 30 rupees or 20 rupees like that. By the time that much of demand was there in the year 2000 and 2001, but that is a starting point for internet era in India. But in abroad, in USA, in outside, it was started in 1994 itself. Yes, sir, got it or not? Now when it comes to at present now, the more and more, that means the highest number of users for internet, highest number of consumers for internet throughout the world is what there? Only India. Of course, that is because of huge population. That's a different story. But the thing I'm telling to you now. Okay, fine. Now here, what is the point I'm telling there? Observe carefully. In the middle of In the middle of 1994, in the middle of 1994, there is a boom for www as part of internet. There is a demand for www as part of internet. There is a boom for www as part of internet. What is a www? World Wide Web. So if you want to open anything through internet, then definitely what is required now? www is required. Am I right or not? World Wide Web. Okay, good. To use. Okay, now understand it clearly. As part of www, the key component, is what their browser. Is it possible to open internet without the browser? Of course, we can get internet connection and internet activity something up to somewhat level. But if we want to surf something or if you want to browse something, definitely what is required here? Browser is required, mandatory. So there, because of that reason, there was a boom for boom for www as part of internet. As part of www, the key component is what their browser. So there is a huge demand for browsers in the middle of the 1994. So there is a demand for the browsers in the middle of 1994. Huge demand is there. Now I want to give one point here, try to understand it clearly. In the middle of 1994, there was a browser named, what is that browser here? Mosaic. The browser name is what there? Mosaic. In the middle of the 1994, there was a browser. Its name is what there? Mosaic. All right, sir. It's only the browser by the time. It has very good demand. Okay, it was provided by Mark Anderson, not James Anderson. Please remember it. Mark Anderson. Who is James Anderson? If you're not aware, well and good. If you're aware, it is a confusion. Who is it? James Anderson? Not aware? England cricketer, right? England pace bowler. Okay, fine. Right, sir. Now here, it was provided by Mark Anderson. What he is actually, he was the undergraduate student. He was undergraduate student who went to the Netscape Communications to prepare the browser as part of his project work, internship. As part of his project work or as part of his internship, he went to the Netscape Communications to prepare that browser. But I had some calculation also, but I'm not going to provide in the document here. But the point is what? To prepare this browser, he took nearly $6.25 per hour stipend. To prepare this browser, he took nearly $6.25 per hour as a stipend. Okay, finally, we prepared that. By the time of 1994, in the middle of 1994, this browser is like what there is a famous one. So this entire scenario was recognized by Sun Microsystems. So already they are in depression. They had put some very good efforts. 2 years of time, they had some efforts. They prepared a programming language. Very first product they prepared on the basis of the programming language, but that was totally a failure product. Nobody is identified to take that product. So they're in depression. So they're understanding the market situation. What is having demand and what is not having demand. They're understanding that Sun Microsystem is continuously monitoring that outside scenario, outside situation. So in the middle of the 1994, browsers are having very good demand there. Then immediately they thought of it, why don't we have our own browser? Why don't we prepare our own browser, as browsers are having very good demand in outside? I get my point or not? So now here, in the middle of 1994, Sun Microsystems started to prepare a new browser That responsibility was taken by Jonathan Payne and Patrick Nathan. That responsibility was taken by Jonathan Payne and Patrick Nathan. Understand it clearly? By the end of 1995, Sun Microsystems has prepared a new browser. Its name is Heart Java. Its name is what there? Heart Java. And which year now? Tell me here. They took nearly again 1.5 year of time. Remaining part of the 1994 and complete 1995 they took there. 1.5 year of time they have taken. By the end of 1995, Sun Microsystems has prepared a new browser. Its name is what there? Heart Java. By thinking this one, people are thinking about it. Java was released in 1995. In 1995, not Java. Java was not released. What was released there? Hard Java was released. What is that hard Java? Browser. It's a browser. It is not like what there. It's not like what there. Java programming language. It was a browser. Get my point or not? All right. The next point is thing. Understand it clearly. Hard Java browser is a successful product. Hard Java browser is a successful product. Then it was designed in a Java programming language. It was designed Java programming language. As per the request, Sun Microsystems wants to release Java programming language. For this, they have. That means Sun Microsystems has set the date. 1996 January 23rd. For this, they have set the date 1996 January 23rd. Java was released officially with the version name JDK 1.0. That's it. That's clear. All of you get my point now. Hard Java browser was a successful product. It was designed in Java programming language. As per the request, Sun Microsystems wants to release Java programming language. For this, they have set the date 1996 January 23rd. Java was released officially with the version name JDK 1.0. Is it clear? Okay, when first version was released there, gradually people are thinking about that programming language and its features. So by the time of introducing Java, what programming languages are existed? C and C++. So a lot of code we have to write. But in Java, if we take very small code we have to write. By the time, the opinion of public. So Java is a simple language when compared with the C and C++. More and more features are available. Previously, only procedure-oriented programming language, functional programming language. First time object orientation is coming with effective mode. I get my point on it. The entire public is attracted for that object oriented, the way how Java has shown in outside there. They attracted for it. Then finally what happened? People are talking about Java. As per the request from the public, Sun Microsystems wants to release next few versions also. Right, after 2 years of time of releasing, that means in 1996, in 1998, next version of the Java was released. That is what there, like JDK 1.1 version with some of the new enhancements, with a less number of enhancements only. Again after 2 years of time, 1.5 year or 2 years of time, Sun Microsystems have changed the total Java, complete Java they have changed totally. Then with that, they introduced a 1.2 version. In Java 1.2 version only, what we are getting there now, J2SE, the names, J2SE, J2EE, J2ME, that partition, that division we are getting along with its 1.2 version only. Major milestones I'm writing, I'll try to understand it clearly. So JDK 1.0 is a language introduction. Language itself introduced there. Next one is what there JDK 1.2 is a major version. Here the things are like what there, so many updations are available. J2SE, J2EE, J2ME, the type of modules are provided inside the Java. All right, then after that, few years later, Java JDK 1.3 is available with one or two number of enhancements. After that, JDK 1.4 was released there with one or two number of enhancements. Are you getting my point or not? All right, sure. Then again, with a huge number of modifications, with more number of enhancements, next version was released, that is JDK 1.5 version. From this point onwards, then Sun Microsystems has changed the names like what there, J2SE to Java SE, J2EE to Java EE, J2ME to Java ME. Got or not? The names are changed there. Why? Because the two significance is already identified. Okay, then after that, after like what there, few versions, 1.6, 1.7, they're okay. 1.7 is better, somewhat better. One or two useful features are available. Again, with the huge number of changes, with more number of changes, the next version they have released is what there, 1.8. With the 1.8 version, the Java development style, application development style is totally changed. Before 1.8 version, application development is in one way. Right from 1.8 version, that application development style is totally U-turn. Even at the time of introducing 1.8, when the software companies are using 1.8, then by the time developers are facing some kind of like what I'm telling, difficulties. But initially difficulties, but when you are habituated to use that, automatically flexibility is coming. So the total Java application development is simplified totally with 1.8 version. You're not recognized it, still majority of the companies are using 1.8 version. Till the date, majority of the companies are using what there, 1.8 version. Everybody understand this clearly, what I'm telling you. Okay, fine. Then gradually it's going on. When it comes to the 1.8 version, right from 1.7, here milestone, another milestone is there. I forgot to give that. JDK 1.8 version, sorry, 1.7 version. Now here in between 1.7 version, now that total Sun Microsystem was packed to Oracle Corporation. Now it is available with like what there, Oracle Corporation. The moment when they have taken the Java to the Oracle Corporation, gradually, slowly, they are giving some intimations to the public. What is that intimations there? Java 11th version onwards, Java is going to be a licensed version. Like this, gradually they are giving intimation. There are major changes in Java 19th version. That's sorry, Java 11th version. When the Java 11th version was released there in 2019, in which year there? 2019. In that year, the Java, like what there, which version was released there? No, like 11th version of the Java. They are giving officially the message, no, right from Java, right from 2019th edition of the Java, there are some changes in the license agreements. Please follow that before using Java. Like this, they are giving intimations to us. Understand it clear? Okay. Up to 1.8 is okay. Huge number of changes there. 1.9, okay. Little bit changes, but 1.9 is utter flap version. 1.9 is totally failure one. No good features, no useful features. Understand my point? It's a totally failure version. By the time of introducing 1.9 version, gradually Python is getting somewhat demand in outside. Then by the time there is a discussion in outside, what was the discussion there? So no more Java. Java was done already, completed. Java was dead. No more Java. Only Python. Only Python can do anything. By the time people are giving this kind of opinion in outside. I get my point or not? Then immediately what happened there? Oracle people have done somewhat manipulations there. Finally, they provided like what there? JDK 1.11 version they provided with a long-term support. Understand my point here? Meanwhile, in a JDK 1.8, 1.9, these versions time now, data science is getting demand in outside. Part of the data science now, Python is getting demand in outside. Otherwise, nobody will think about Python. Understand my point clearly? So when Java JDK 11 version is coming there, from the JDK 11 onwards, Oracle Corporation has taken a decision. What is the decision they have taken there? Up to now, Java versions are released yearly wise. 2 years once or 3 years once or maybe something like that. Here we released Java versions, but right from 11th version, strictly speaking, after JDK 1.10 version onwards, after JDK 1.10 version onwards, for introducing this 11th version, they have taken monthly approach. Every 6 months of time, they want to release a separate version. For every 6 months of time, the Oracle Corporation wants to release a new Java version. As part of that only, Java 11 is coming after 6 months of the Java 1.10. Then after this, what next one can know? JDK 1.12, JDK 1.13, and so on and so on and so on. Versions are coming there. But JDK, observe carefully, JDK 1.15 is having like 1 or 2 features, no? But still it is not good. Directly, JDK 1.17 version is again long-term support. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? JDK 1.17 is what their long-term support. Then after this, again, every 6 months at time they released one version there. As part of that, at present, which version is available here now? JDK 1.20th version is available. Maybe in this next September, we are expecting 21st version. 1.21st version, we are expecting that, but it may be delayed or it may be nothing. Okay, but finally here at present, the stable version in Java is what there? 1.20. Okay, this is the versions what Oracle Corporation has provided. But here I have a question. Oracle Corporation has provided these versions like this in this way. But what version is used by the companies at present? In the software industry, what version is going on at present? What software companies are thinking about these versions now? Well, if I get my point or not? So if we come for this particular point, answer is like what there? What's the answer here? I'm telling to you. All of you have to carefully. Up to JDK 1.8 version, even still today, majority of the companies are using what their 1.8 version. Then immediately we are thinking about it. Companies will go with what they 1.9 or 1.11 like this now. No, what companies are doing there immediately? Some of the companies have started already this work. Immediately they are directly moving towards what their 17. Directly they are jumping from 1.8 to 1.17. Understand it? The companies are also be thinking about it. So they don't want to wait more time to get to upgrade to the next version scan, to migrate to the next version scan. So directly they want to jump to what their 1.17. Already some companies have started work with what their 1.17. And one advantage I'm telling there by taking course at Durgasoft. Everybody understand it? No, one advantage. What is that advantage here? I'm telling to you. Observe carefully. Up to know what people are thinking there. 1.8 version is the present version in the companies now. With this particular thinking only, in outside in Amirpet also, all institutes people are trying to teach only 1.8 version. When Java 1.8 version they completed, they want to complete their batches and core Java. Only Durgasoft in only my classes, in general, regularly we used to discuss about the Java up to the latest version. Answer my point here. I'm not thinking about it. What version is used by companies or what version is taught by all the institutes now. My thinking is what there. What is the latest version which is provided by Sun Microsystems or Oracle Corporation? Up to that version I want to talk. And because of that reason only, our students are not having any problem. As we are going to understand up to Java 20th version. Even though the companies are using 17th or 20th version directly, that doesn't matter for us. We are going to understand up to the latest version. By completing our classes, if Java 17, that means Java 21st version is coming there. By default, we can understand that updations also be. I'm going to discuss with you clear. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Okay. Now this is a clear-cut information here. What I'm telling there about the versions information. So think of it up to the latest version. We are going to understand in my classes. Because of this reason only, some rumors are going on in outside there. I'm going to take too much long time for completing core Java. Don't mind for it. The point is what there for the sake of completing this much of knowledge. For giving this much of knowledge, I'm going to take somewhat extra time. Really, I'm telling you, core Java will take somewhat extra time. Why? Because it's a fundamental course and huge syllabus we have to deal. Understand it here. It may take some time, but advanced Java onwards, when we come to the full stack Java, it will be completed 1 or 2 months before or later. Finally, we are going to complete as per our schedule. Why? Because see, the point is very clear. Without having knowledge on core Java, how can we survive in future technologies? No. Understand my point? That's why I'm telling always I'm following the permanent solution for you. My approach is a permanent solution for you. One time if you complete your learning, next 20 to 25 years of time, you should not come back for anything about this Java. They're going to understand it effectively. If any new version is available there, you are in a position to update yourself. You are not going to take help from others even. I get my point or not? No need to come back to Durgasoft again and again. Not only Durgasoft, no need to come back to any institute again and again. Learning is one-time process. That time we have to learn completely. If you done it, your generation has to be completed. That means your lifetime we have to complete in our software industry. What is the lifetime for any employee in the software industry? Do you think about it? Up to retirement stage, up to 55 or 60 years of time, we want to work with companies? No. Don't expect up to that. Software company max time is what there 15 years or maybe max 20 years. You're unable to work in the companies maybe after 20 years of experience. Not possible. That huge pressures are coming there, unable to deal that. By the time we are not going to do any coding part, by the time we should be an analyst. By the time we are going to be a business analyst, we are going to bring business from customers to the companies now. Your level should be different. Where that different role we have to play in the companies now. If you are having 20 years of experience in our companies. Okay, leave it. That is a different story. Right, sir. So finally, Java history, the topic is completed. Total content of like what there? Java history that we completed. Yes, sir. Got it or not? Can I go for the next one? Shall we move on to the next topic? You know? All right. The next topic is like what there? Differences between Java and others. Here, what are the others actually? C and C++. Differences between Java and others. What are the others? No, C and C++. Good. Listen, all of you listen carefully. Why I'm taking this topic as an introductory part? Because of two reasons. Reason number one, listen, all of you listen carefully. Reason number one, what I'm telling to you. So most of the people are having some kind of opinion about the Java. What was that opinion about the Java and outside there? If you want to learn Java, you should know C++. If you want to learn C++, first you must complete C programming language. So people are forming one chain process. First to C, next to C++, then after that Java. But frankly, I'm telling to you, C, C++, core Java, all are startup programming languages only. In which way we want to start C programming language, in the same way we can start core Java. Core Java is basically a fundamental programming language. For this fundamental programming language, other fundamentals are not required. Understand my point clearly? So for core Java, no prerequisite. Just if you know what is the computer, how to start computer, how to shut down system, that awareness is sufficient. No need to go for more than this. From that point onwards, I will prepare you. We are going to understand the content. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Okay. To expose this information, to say Java is far away from C and C++, I need to discuss about this particular topic. Point number one. Point number two. In general, immediately, for example, you are attending Java classes here. Immediately, if you are having an opportunity, if we got an opportunity to attend for some interviews in outside, first of all, we have to prepare resume or not. In the resume, there we have to specify skill set or not. There we have to provide what their skill set. In the resume, we have to provide what their skill set. Getting my point or not? Okay. Whenever we are having skill set there in general, people are going to specify like what their C, C++, Java, .NET, Python, whatever the technology names you know, everything we are going to give. But everybody they used to specify C, C++, Java minimum. Yeah, it's a minimum. As you are coming from directly colleges, no, definitely we used to keep like that only. But when we go for interview will check that your skill set now, C, C++, Java. He will ask you, are you sure about C, C++, Java? As you specified that in the resume, you have to say, oh, yes, okay, I'm sure about it. Then there is a chance to ask one question by that interviewer. What is that question there? Tell me, already we have C and C++, then what is the requirement to go for Java? Or else tell me, what are the differences between C, C++, Java? The type of questions that interviewers are going to ask. At least by the time we have to open our mouth, we have to speak minimum some features, minimum some differences between C, C++, Java. To clarify this type of concepts only, we need to understand the differences between Java and other content. Moreover, those who are learning first time Java programming language, you are going to get very good clarity about Java if you understand there's a differences between Java and other programming languages. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Okay, fine. Now let's understand this clearly. All of you know. Observe carefully. The very first difference, nearly 9 differences I'm going to talk here. All 9 differences are important differences only. Moreover, they are interview questions in outside. So we are going to understand them clearly. The very first one, C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. Okay, right, sir. C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. What is the meaning of it? How can you say C and C++ are static, Java is a dynamic? First of all, before this comparison, when a programming language is static, when a programming language is dynamic, that we have to understand clearly. Right, sir. Now observe carefully. When a programming language is static, when a programming language is dynamic, if you observe this, I want to give some clarity. Observe carefully first of all. I'll give in the form of a diagram. Now try to understand it clearly. Say for example, I'm going to take a C program. If you want to say it's a C program, some file name .c extension. We're able to have what there one file name with the extension like what there .c. Okay, fine. For what purpose we have written this C program? For what purpose we have written this C program? To execute program in order to get some outputs. For getting some outputs, for getting some results only we have written this C program. So we have to execute this C program or not? We have to execute this C program. So here I'm going to provide like what the execution process here I'm going to provide. Here I'm going to provide like what their execution. Okay. Execution. Who will execute the C programs now? There is a separate engine. That engine is called as C engine. There is a separate engine to execute this program. That engine is what there? C engine. Now here we are getting this program. C engine here we are getting. When C engine is available, if you provide this C program to the C engine, automatically C engine will execute this program. Then it is able to provide some output for us. Then C engine is able to provide some output for us. There we can see like what their output. Everybody understand this point clearly. We have written C program here. That C program we have provided to what their C engine. Now C engine has to execute this program and the C engine has to generate some outputs. Because of that reason only here we are getting output. Okay, fine. But here we have a problem actually. What is the problem here? Understand it. Who has written this C code? Come on, who has written this C code? Who is preparing this C programming language code? This is C programming language code was provided by the developers in their understanding language. The C programming language, C program was created by the developers in their understanding language. What is the developers understanding language? No, high level representation, high level language. What is this high level language, sir? What is the meaning of this high level language? No, if you observe this high level language here, we can understand. Say for example, int a is equal to 10, it's a high level representation where int is an integer representation, a is a variable, equal is an operator, 10 is a data, semicolon is a terminator, that everything is known by the developer. That is understandable. That means developer understandable language, high level language, C only, but that C is in what there? Developer understandable language. Okay, good. So this is high level language that is provided by the developer. Now tell me what the C engine is able to understand, what it is able to execute actually. C engine is able to understand only low level code, low level like representation, low level language. What is this low level language actually? The same int a is equal to 10 semicolon we provided, it should be available like this in the form of zeros and ones only. Get my point or not? That mission language, that language is called as what there? Mission language. Now understand this, some mismatch is going to be happen between the two languages, no? Some mismatch is going to be happen here between the two languages, no? What mismatch is going on here? Now observe carefully. That mismatches are like what there? We created our program in high level, but engine, C engine required the program in which level there, no? Low level here, no? So some incompatibility, some mismatch is coming or not? Exactly. In this particular situation, to execute our program, we need to go for some conversion mechanism. Some translation mechanism here we have to use to achieve, to overcome this problem. What exactly the translation mechanism here we have to do there? Observe carefully. Now here, instead of in place of this directly providing the high level program to the C engine, first of all, I want to go for some conversion mechanism, some translation mechanism here I'm going to do. Now this is like what there? Conversion or translation. Understand it clearly. Translation. Okay, what this translation is going to do, observe carefully. When we provide the C program to this translation, this translation is able to convert the program from high level to low level representation. This translation mechanism is able to convert the program from high level to low level representation. That C program is converted to low level in the form of a separate file. That file is like what there? .exe file. Inside this .exe file, we are going to have only low level code. Now this is like what there? Low level code here I'm telling there. Okay. Now overall here we are getting low level code. Now tell me, this low level code is represented, is understandable to the machine or not? This low level code is understandable to the machine or not? Everybody understand this clearly? Now this is exactly like what there? Low level representation, low level code. Whenever we are getting this low level code, and if we provide this low level code, if we pass this low level code to the C engine, now C engine is able to execute this low level code, it's able to provide some output. Now C engine is able to execute that low level code and we are able to get some output directly. There we are getting output like what there? Like this now. So this is like what the C program translation. Now here we are getting low level code. That low level code we have given to the C engine. Now C engine is able to execute our program. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? This is what exactly the way of executing our program. Got or not? But here I have a point now. What about this punch here? Observe carefully. Here we are performing some translation or not? Here we are performing some translation or not? Now this translation is also be called as compilation. This translation is also be called as what there? Compilation. I'm asking one question now. Most of the people are thinking about it. What is compilation? In the sense, checking errors is nothing but compilation in general. That is not the main reason. Here, what is the main reason? No, translating program from high level representation to low level representation. That is called as compilation. That is the main intention of the compilation. But error checking is an extra work for the compilation. It's not only the work for compilation, it's an extra work for the compilation along with the translation. Observe carefully. Okay, fine. Now finally here, I'm asking one question there. Now observe carefully. What exactly the responsibilities of the compilation in Java? If you observe these two responsibilities, one is what their translation from high level language to low level language. Second one is what their error checking. Error checking is the another responsibility of the compilation. Right, sir. Understand my point now. Who is executing our C program? Come on, who is executing C program? C engine is executing our C program. Am I right or not? Remember this terminology. C engine is executing C program. C++ engine is executing C++ program. Java engine is executing Java program. Java engine is executing Java program. But in Java, the Java engine is called as JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Similarly, Python engine is executing Python program. Python engine is executing Python program. Here, Python engine is what there? PVM. PVM, Python Virtual Machine. Yes, sir, got it or not? Now, frequently I'm going to ask this question to you in the future. Who is executing our Java programs? There is an engine. That engine name is what there? JVM, Java Virtual Machine. That's the point here we have to understand clearly. Right. All of you are following the points now? Fine, good. Next one is, after completion of this, I want to introduce some terminology, understand the terminology clearly now. The time when we perform compilation, that time is called as compilation time. Is also be called as a static time. The time when we perform compilation is called as compilation time. Is also be called as like what there? Static time. Don't compare the static time with the static keyword in Java. That is different and this is different. Just I'm talking about the time. The moment we perform compilation, then it is called as what there? Compilation time. Is also be called as what there? Static time. Similarly, the time when we perform execution, that is called as execution time. Is also be called as run time. Is also be called as dynamic time. Static and dynamic. Yes, sir. Are you getting it or not? I think somewhat you are related with our actual point. First of all, tell me what I'm discussing with you now. What topic I'm discussing with you? Any idea? Differences between Java and others. In the differences between Java and others, one point, very first point I've taken. What is the first point I've taken there? Come on, what is the first point here I've taken there? C and C++ are static programming languages. Here we have the word static. And Java is what there? A dynamic programming language. Here the word is what there? Dynamic. That points I'm talking now. Right. Okay, good. Now observe carefully. One more small point. Try to recognize this clearly. For example, I have a variable. Int a is equal to 20. For example, I have a variable int a is equal to 20. Put more concentration. Here, what is variable name? A is a variable name. What is the value for that A variable? 20 is the data for that A variable. What is the data type for A? Int is a data type now. Now tell me, int A is equal to 10 in the sense, for A variable, memory will be allocated or not? Memory must be allocated or not? Observe carefully, all of you know. For example, how memory is going to be allocated now? Now this is A variable. For A variable, now here we are able to have what there? 2 bytes of memory. In C and C++, that is how much, 2 bytes of memory. Okay, some bytes of memory, leave it. 2 bytes or 4 bytes, that doesn't matter. Some memory where we are going to provide the data. What data here we have to provide there? We can understand 20. 20 is the data here we are providing. Got it or not? A value and 20 is the value here we are getting clearly. All of you are getting it or not? Okay, now listen carefully. This is one point. If this entire memory allocation is going in at compilation time, listen what I'm telling you, at the time of performing compilation, if the memory allocation is available for the primitive data types like integers, then this memory allocation is called static memory allocation. The memory is allocated for the data at a compilation time, then that memory allocation is called as what there? Static memory allocation. Static memory allocation. Everybody understand this clearly. Similarly, for the same thing, 2 bytes of memory or 4 bytes of memory, whatever it may be, if the memory allocation is provided for the data at runtime, not at compilation time, at runtime, if the memory allocation is going on for the data, at runtime, then that memory allocation that memory allocation is called as dynamic memory allocation. That memory allocation is called as what there? Dynamic memory allocation. Hello, if you recognize my point here, I'm almost or close to the conclusion. Tell me, I'm asking one question to you. What is static memory allocation? If the memory allocation is going on for the data at a compilation time, then that memory allocation is what there? Static memory allocation. If the memory allocation is going on for the data at a runtime, then that memory allocation is called as what? Dynamic memory allocation. All of you are getting it or not? Dynamic memory allocation. Observe carefully. Listen the conclusion. If any programming language is following static memory allocation, what's that? If any programming language follows static memory allocation, then that programming language is called as static programming language. Come again. If any programming language follows static memory allocation, then that programming language is what there? Static programming language. If any programming language follows dynamic memory allocation, then that programming language is what there? Dynamic programming language. Tell me, what is static programming language? If any programming language follows static memory allocation, then that programming language is what there? Static programming language. Then what is dynamic programming language? If any programming language follows dynamic memory allocation, then that programming language is what there? Dynamic programming language. So my concepts are very much simple. My conclusions are very much clear. Now here, what is the conclusion here I'm telling to you? Try to understand it clearly. Now the point is what there? C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is what there? Dynamic programming language. What is the reason internally? What is the reason internally? C and C++ are static programming languages. Why? Because in C and C++, in C and C++, one minute, in C and C++, memory will be allocated at the compilation time. That is static memory allocation. That's the point here I'm telling you. Okay, in C and C++, static programming languages. Why? Because in C and C++, memory will be allocated for the data at the compilation time. That is static memory allocation. That's it. This is the meaning here we can understand clearly. Next one is what there after this. Another point here I'm telling to you. Java is a dynamic programming language. Java is a dynamic programming language. Why? Because in Java applications, memory will be allocated for the data at a runtime, not at a compilation time. At runtime, not at compilation time. So Java is a dynamic programming language. Because why? Because in Java applications, memory will be allocated for the data at runtime, not at compilation time here. Because of this reason, Java is what there? A dynamic programming language. That's it. Now related diagram also be here. We provided clear. But for our clarity purpose, I'm giving a small note. What is the note I'm telling to you? Definitions here I'm telling to you. Or else might be here itself. I want to provide that point here. Observe carefully. Before this point here, I'm telling to you, if any programming language follows static memory allocation, then that programming language is called a static programming language. Right, sir? This is the meaning of like what the static programming language. Examples here I'm telling to you C and C++. Now here I'm telling the point here. C and C++ are static programming language. Remaining point here. Now here I want to specify the point here. If any programming languages follows dynamic memory allocation, then that programming languages are called dynamic programming languages. Examples here I'm telling to you, Java. Of course, other examples are also available, but I don't require these other examples here. Understand it clearly. Right, sir. If any programming language follows dynamic memory allocation, then that programming language is called dynamic programming language. That's clear cut information here, what we are getting now. So finally here, what is the point here I'm telling to you? Right, diagram also we have given. So first step, first point is completed. The difference between Java and others, C++ was a static, but Java is what their dynamic programming language. Leave this point here. Now it is completed. After this, after that, the second difference here I'm telling to you. Observe carefully. Preprocessor is required in C and C++, but preprocessor is not required in Java. There's a question. There's a point here. Second point. Second difference here. Preprocessor is required in C and C++, but a preprocessor is not required in Java. So here, what is the discussion we need to have there? First of all, we have to understand what is preprocessor. What is the location of the preprocessor in programming languages? What is the job of the preprocessor in programming languages? After that, we have to understand why it is required in C and C++ and why it is not required in Java. These are the points here we have to understand. Okay, it's a story. Almost all then 45 minutes of time here we have to spend to understand that point here. So I will discuss about this topic on tomorrow. Because even time may not be sufficient to complete, at least to give introduction part for it. I need to start that conversation with a diagram, with a good diagram here. So tomorrow I'll plan for it about this preprocessor kind of content here now. Right, sir? Okay, then today I want to stop this session, and tomorrow I'll continue the class, and tomorrow we are going to understand these concepts here. And one more thing I'm telling there, I given some schedule related information every day. Few classes are going on here at 11:30 to 1. Your actual core Java, right from object orientation onwards, your class is going in at what time here now? 10 o'clock, 10 to 11:30. Please remember this. Only few classes, introductory classes only. This introduction, steps to prepare first application, language fundamentals, logic based programming. These are going on at 11:30 to 1. But then oops onwards, your content is going to be start like what there? 10 o'clock. But I will give schedule when onwards. On which date onwards I'm going to take your object orientation topic at 10 o'clock. I'll give that schedule clearly. Okay. Right. That's all for today. I'll meet you tomorrow. Tomorrow see the remaining points. Thank you. Thanks a lot. अच्छा మీకు గూగుల్ డాక్ యాప్ లేదు దీనిలో మొబైల్
గూగుల్ డాక్ యాప్ అంటే మొబైల్ ఓపెన్ చేసినప్పుడు